many of our veterans who have been around the burn pits while serving overseas that come back with breathing problems. It has been an ongoing fight for veteran attorneys like myself to advocate to the VA and the Congress to acknowledge many of these conditions. We also have seen some symptoms of cancer that have manifested. And over time, you start to see a commonality. You start to see these connections between your clients and certain diagnoses. And then you track them all back to a common denominator. And what's the common denominator? You start asking the same question. By the way, were you working near or around burn pits while you were serving? You know, as a matter of fact, I was. And you start seeing these diagnoses match up. And this is the advocacy we have been doing with leadership in Washington to say, look, some of this is so obvious to us that the causation, the causative factor, the common denominator has been and has to be the exposure to these burn pits. And just recently, 9 additional presumptions, cancer presumptions, were added as well. So Congress is acknowledging the significance and the degree of exposure, damage, diagnosis, and sickness that these burn pits have caused many of our members of the armed services now that they've moved to inactive duty. It is a complicated system. It is a complicated process. There are so many rules, so many regulations, so many forms to fill out. Then there's timing to fill them out, when to fill them out, when to respond when you hear back from the VA. There are so many pitfalls, setbacks, and quote unquote trapdoors that the inexperienced applicant could fall through, that they could find themselves getting a case dismissed or getting their claims dismissed because of some idiosyncrasy with the forms that they filled out themselves. We pride ourselves on being on the cutting edge of changes in the law, changes in the forms, changes in the process and procedure, which one must use to get in. And we pride ourselves on being on the cutting edge of the innovative ways to be efficient and expedient to get the files back from the VA, analyze them, and review them. The process and the procedure and the hurry up and wait approach that many veterans tell us they feel is what's happening is a very important factor in our representation with our clients. We explain to our clients, once we gauge where they are in the system, we have to prepare them that this could turn around in a relatively short period of time. Relatively short could be 3 to 6 months on the short end, but that is the exception to the general rule. It is very important for us to stress to our veterans out there and to the veterans whom we represent that this is a process where we need to gather records, where we need to look at their claim files, where forms need to be filed, and then there are times to turn additional evidence around as we continue to work things up. It can take many months, if not more than a year, from the beginning to the end of a claim. We urge our veterans to be diligent, to work alongside of us. Do not get deflated or set back by this process. You serve this country. We live in a free society because of the efforts you have made. We, at a minimum, our country owes you a debt of gratitude, and there are benefits that you are entitled to because of what happened when you were protecting our freedom. We will not walk away from that, and you should not walk away from that either. You earned these benefits through your sacrifices. We will work with you to get through this process, which can be very muddled at times and can take many months, and like I said, can take over a year on occasion. Often it can take more than a year. Do not give up. We're not in a utopian society, especially when it comes to the entitlement our veterans have to disability and the difficulty that they experience and the frustration that they experience when they attempt to get those benefits for which they're duly entitled. We remind them daily, our veterans, our clients, to be patient, to persevere. We will work with you to get you through this system. The longer you wait, you may be leaving a significant amount of benefit on the table to which you were entitled, but you will not be able to recognize because you didn't pick up the phone, make that call, and speak to someone to start that process. You won't have to look over your shoulder and say, I wish I would have made that call sooner, if you make that call now. And you won't have to look over your shoulder and say, I wish I would have done something. Just pick up the phone and talk to us. And the sooner you do that, the sooner we can get started. The longer you wait, the more you might be leaving on the table benefits that should have been on your table. Many of the veterans who call this office to seek a consultation about their rights under VA law and whether or not they are entitled to benefits are concerned because they don't have any paperwork, or they misplaced their paperwork, or that they have no documentation whatsoever. They remember getting their DD 214. They remember talking to some doctors or being examined while they were in. There was a period of time where they were going to the VA for a treatment for whatever the issue might have been, and they got some medical paperwork, but they just don't know what they've done with it, or they have some of it, or it is discombobulated in a box up in the attic. Not a problem, because we always say, send us what you have. Oh, I don't have anything, or I don't know what I did with it. Not a problem. We can reach out to the VA and they can get us your rating decisions. We can get any decisions that the BVA, the Board of Veterans Appeals, may have written. It doesn't take long for us to rebuild it. If you have 2 to 3 of 10 pieces that we need, give us the 3. We'll work with you to get the other 7. You don't have to worry about what you have or don't have at your house. The VA has everything. We can go right in with your authorization. We can have it instantaneously. We sort it, we organize it, we go through it, we review it with you. So not having documentation is never a problem. It's out there. We'll take what you have, but whatever you don't have, we will get it for you. I had a tragedy when I was a young man where we lost someone in our family. And as I attended those trials, I realized that I wanted to serve others by becoming an attorney. It was a passion of mine. And when I passed the bar, I committed myself to practicing in areas where I helped others who were injured through the negligence of others or through no fault of their own. We live in a free society where I have the ability to be a lawyer and defend, guess what? A constitution. Who's defending the Constitution that allows me to practice law in a free society? Veterans are doing that. We owe them a debt of gratitude. And it is at a minimum that I can serve them as a lawyer and give back to them the freedom that they've given to us. It's an honor to serve you, and we are honored that you serve us. We wish that you did not have to pick up the phone and call us, but the fact that you do, you know that you will have a team of the best lawyers representing you and the best staff representing you. And it is a small debt of gratitude that we can show you.